This is Andy Thayer with Graystack Media, and I have the pleasure of talking with the Executive Director of the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization, COCO for short, Shannon Bennett, who is a leader in the fight to enforce the provisions of the Community Benefits Agreement here near the Obama Center, which is due to open up very soon. Mr. Bennett, could you tell us the history of the fight for the CBA, please?
Yes. So probably maybe a year or shortly thereafter, the first announcement that there would be an Obama Center, communities came together from Woodlawn and from Kenwood Oakland and from South Shore, and we started to discuss what we needed to do to make sure that this particular development did not displace and did not harm our communities. And indirectly and directly, we know that happens sometimes when there's large, huge developments. So we really came together right after the announcement, and we started organizing town hall meetings to get input from city residents, engaging our elected officials, just doing the things we know to do to make sure we have a plan, and we developed a plan, which is called our Community Benefits Agreement.
Now, it wasn't completely easy getting this CBA. Who were some of your opponents, and what were they saying, and how did you win?
Well, nobody thought it was a need for a CBA who were quote-unquote powers. So we, at the time, you had different mayors. I think we started under Rom and then Lori Lightfoot, which is where we got our first victory during her administration. So particularly starting from the top, the city leaders didn't think there was a need for CBA. We fought the aldermen at the time. I won't mention her name, but we had some opposition there. The University of Chicago never was on board. But these are the three targets. It's the City of Chicago, University of Chicago, and of course the Obama Presidential Center Foundation never really, I would say, engaged residents in the proper way. They had some stage meetings that they held. They never came and engaged us the right way. We have met with them, but no meaningful engagement.
And so how did you get them to change their tune?
Well, we never got them to change their tune. We got the City of Chicago to change their tune during the height of some of the resistance during 2020. We did some major protests. Some of them resulted in them saying uncle. And Lori Lightfoot gave us a call. We called to the chief sponsor and Alderman Jeanette Taylor. It's like, we're ready to make an ordinance, to pass the ordinance. So that happened under an unlikely administration, Lori Lightfoot. And that's how we got the Woodlawn Preservation Ordinance. I'll never forget, we had a rally right here at this location, a huge rally. We did a tent city. And during the tent city rally, Alderman Taylor gets a phone call from the mayor saying, so it was very dramatic, it was interesting, and it really helped show people that their efforts were paying off.
And of course, this was the time of the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter.
It was a little bit before that, but it was all part of the same continuum, I think. Mm-hmm. The energy was the same. When we took over streets, we meaning the whole city, it really was a time when people really saw people power work.
Laquan McDonald, for example.
Yes.
So we are standing here on a very large vacant lot. Lots of room here in a city, and it's very close to the about to be opened Obama Center. Tell us the history of this lot and the promises made about it.
Well, I think the history of it, as far as I know, because I don't know the history, I'm from originally from West Side, but long story short, this community identified this as one of the lots because they knew how, one, it was close in proximity to the center, but not because of that, but because it had been basically left and neglected. If you know Chicago, these silver poles, I think, I forget what administration started doing it, that designates city-owned land, right? So the city has, just like a lot of landlords who are not doing their job, have land just sitting, and people are homeless, people are underhoused. So this particular plot of land, we identified it, we won it, and now this is one of the places that the next step has to come where they need to actually implement the ordinance and start to build with the right builders. So that matters too. Who builds on this land?
Yeah, and you and I are both old enough to remember all the promises that have been made concerning displaced people in the Chicago Housing Authority. This could be a CHA project. It could be someplace, but They tore down thousands of units not too far from here and never replaced them.
Exactly. So my community's been impacted by the plan for transformation, as they called it. And what we know is that the same architects of that plan, Valerie Jerry, Ron Emanuel, they were on the CHA board at the time, or connected to the CHA. Those are the same people that are still in positions of power, but are so far removed from what the people are demanding. So we have to look at, okay, are we going to wait? Are we going to do things like, even though it's a press conference, this is a part of the public show that, no, we have solutions. We're not the committee of no. These people have developed over town hall meetings what they know could be fixed. That's why I mentioned rhythm control. That's a campaign that COCO has led for over 6 years in the state. And we're going to get it. But that's why we got to understand all these fights are interconnected. So the Lincoln Park history, knowing that could happen here. But if we stay disjointed, and in the most segregated city in the world at one point, and probably still is, if we stay disjointed and disconnected, the powers that be get their wish. Their wish is to disrupt us, to have us scattered, and be like nomads. And that's what happens when you get displaced from community to community to community. You got folks from the west side who've been displaced to the south side. Same thing, vice versa. That's no way to live. How do you raise kids? How do you have generational wealth, generational just existence? But that's what it is. It's a tale of two cities, as we already know. Chicago's a tale of two cities. We know why our land is desirable on the lakefront. It's very desirable. This is a very lovely, world-class city. But for whom? That's always the question that black folk have. For whom?
Well, and we saw during the Great Recession who got bailed out, who lost their homes.
COVID, we saw who was prioritized during COVID, all of that. And that's why we are not going to fall for the okie doke and just put it, oh, we're going to get to you. No. Oh, the South Side Y is safe. No, I don't believe it. Oh, Hyde Park High School is safe. No, I don't believe it.
So you've got a CBA summit coming up on Saturday, the 28th of June. Tell people about
That's
it,
a
please.
summit that leaders come together and have voice. They get listened to because it's us that's doing it, right? It's the leaders that are doing it. But secondly, it creates a couple different platforms. One, a platform for people who are always marginalized, who are always shut out, and usually just talk to each other. But we talk power to power. We know our power, people power. So that particular summit culminates years and years of work where we bring together the people who actually are the day-to-day people that experience the pain. They experience the pain. So we always say, we have a saying that says, people closest to the pain should be closest to the power.
And finally, how do people get in touch with the CBA Coalition?
Well, we have a couple ways. You can connect with the lead organization, with the South Side together. You can connect with the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization. That's the best way. It's connect directly to us on our websites. I know my website. I'm not sure about South Side Together. But you can connect with either one of us. With the lead organization, South Side Together, we've been co-leading this campaign and taking it across the finish line. Because it's never going to be done. Once we win these victories, we have to sustain our existence. Unfortunately, that's what happens with people who are, in these situations. We have to continue to fight for our existence. That's not right.
Well, thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
man.
Bennett. Really
All right.
appreciate it. Stay
Hopefully
strong.
Definitely. Thank you. All right. Take care.